Well-dressed woman on Upper East Side, annoyed by our stroller, yells, "Go back to China. Go back to your fucking country. This is 2016. So I wrote that tweet just after my family and I had that encounter with this woman. And later I wrote an open letter to her that ran on the New York Times website, and we put it on the front page of the newspaper. We asked other Asian Americans to share their own experiences with racial prejudice and hashtag it just like I did, "This is 2016. A lot of people did.
So I was leaving the stage door of Mamma Mia, where I had been working for several years, and was talking to this wonderful, lovely Midwest couple. And after our conversation, they look at me and say, "When did you move to this country? Your accent is almost perfect." And I took a breath, looked right at them and said, "Yeah, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, y'all. So, awkward."
My history teacher asked in class, "Is your Chinese name Ching Chang Wang?" I heard all Chinese names sound like that. Hashtag this is 2016.
A man yelled across the street to another group of men, "Hey, you have an egg roll coming your way." This is 2016.
Where do I start? How about this one? Once asked, quote, "Is your peripheral vision as good as mine? Or better, 'cause you know, your eyes." This is 2016.
Is it true that Asian women have slanted vaginas? This is 2016.
Dating as an Asian male, seeing profiles listing preference as, quote, all-American, getting replies like, quote, no chinks. This is 2016.
So this happens in the back of a Lyft pool. I get inside the car and the guy starts asking me, "Where are you from?" Dreaded question. And I say, "I was born in the States, but I lived in Korea for a bit." And he says, "Wow, your English is so good." And I say, "Well, I said I was born in the States." And he keeps pushing, saying, "But you're so articulate. Your English is impeccable." At this point, I am about ready to tell the Lyft driver to tell this guy to just jump off onto the West Side Highway.
When I was in the U.S. Army, our drill sergeants used to tell us that we're not white, black, yellow, or brown, that we're all Army green. Yet when a fellow soldier called me Private Ching Chang, when a drill sergeant told another fellow soldier that she would kick her butt back to China, and by the way, she's from California, we had to fight to convince them that we were as American as they were, willing to fight, bleed, and die for this country. Yet that was the struggle we took on.
Too many for one tweet. In some, living in New York City, I still regularly get, "Go back to China." "Hello, China doll." "Konnichiwa." This is 2016.
In college, a roommate's girlfriend, she asked me if I spoke Asian. She also asked if I saw everything in widescreen.
Last month, I watched a white man who I consider to be progressive pull back his eyelids to describe Asian people.
When I was 7, my father had to explain the word chink to me because a neighbor had spray painted it on our front steps. I'm Korean.
Late night, packed subway, I brush up against a guy and he screams at me, "Go fucking make my Chinese food." And I don't even like to cook.
My brother comes home and tells me his boss at school calls him Bruce Lee and Tinkerbell, and his friends started to do the same. They were his friends for his whole life.
About 2 weeks ago, a New York City subway conductor intentionally slammed the door on my ribs and said to me, "You'll be deported soon." This is 2016.
So Monday at work, I was reading this Michael Luo article, and as I was reading that, the timing was too perfect. I got a series of texts from my sister. She was supposed to meet me later. The texts read, "I just left and filed a report with the police. Walking to the train and this guy follows me and says, 'Hey, I know you. Where are you going? Hey, you fucking Asian chink. Don't walk away from me. I got a $50 bill. I can buy you for the night.' I grabbed them by the Chinese pussy." After reading that, I tweeted, "I received these texts from my younger sister as I was reading your article, and we're first-generation Filipino Americans. Hashtag this is 2016.
First of all, I'm a physician, and I've gotten the chance to work in all different parts of the country. The one thing I've noticed, though, regardless of where I work, is I always seem to be encountering the same question, being, where in the world did you ever learn to speak English so well? If I wasn't looking at you or speaking to you on the phone, I would never think you were Oriental. The question never failed to take me aback, considering the fact that I went to school in Boston, I went to school in Buffalo, New York. So the first thing I ever think of myself as is a New Yorker, not as an Oriental.
Quote, your people are all like this. Man at JFK after I asked him to unblock the security machine. He was playing on his phone.
I went to my college's financial aid office for a scholarship problem. Explained in detail. Guy, quote, so are you an international student?
Doorman, assuming that I'm a delivery guy because I'm holding a plastic bag. This is 2016.
As an Asian American born in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, I sympathize with your situation. Recently, I was walking with my husband of 20 years. He happens to be Jewish. He said to me, I never realized people look at us differently. And I was shocked. I said, are you kidding? Of course we are different. I am different. I am not white. I am a person of color. And the other night at the Taylor Mack concert, Taylor Mack told all the white people in the center section of the audience to go to mimic a whitey-flighty to allow people of color to enter the more privileged seats. My husband got up, he turned to me and said, aren't you coming with me? And I said, no, I'm not white. I am a person of color.
A former boss said she always hires Asians because they make the best workers. This is 2016.
Colleagues have asked, without malice, when does your work visa end? I was born here. This is 2016.
So this happened in Brooklyn. I was walking to the subway and approaching me, there are two tall, young white guys, and they stopped me. They started speaking gibberish and sing-song, and I didn't quite know what was going on. And then I heard it, Chinny China, go back to China. And then I knew it was about race. It was not a good feeling, but in a way it was kind of a relief because, you know, we named it and at least we're talking about it.